All right, YouTube, first bike, first Harley, first chopper build. It's my personal bike, so I'm going to be pouring my heart out to you guys today, but I'm very excited to share, so stay tuned. Hell yeah. All right, so why are we making this video? I'll tell you guys why. We're still waiting on parts for the Shovelhead swap. Yeah, man, that's the video I've been trying to get out for a few weeks, but whatever. This one was on the roster anyways. This one's super personal, man. Everybody has a personal bike and everybody builds it their own way. Everybody has a first bike that they're nostalgic about. Everybody dreams, you know, when they're young about getting their first Harley. This is all of it for me, man. So this one's gonna go deep. I feel like I can look at this bike and just see years of my life. Not that I've had it for that long or that it's been this way for that long, but you just pour so much into these things. So anyways, let's get into it. This motorcycle is currently in as ridden condition. Okay, and this thing gets ridden. So that means that it's got the dumb looking air cleaner on it, because I don't like junk going in my engine. It also means that it doesn't have a seat. And I know that sounds crazy. Yeah, it is. Right now, I've got a friend upholstering a seat. So anyways, that'll come. But right now, I'm riding it without a seat. I'm just putting a couch cushion on the frame. So yeah, here's my seat. I just fold that in half and stick it on the frame. And I've gone for a couple of rides now just to kind of shake the cobwebs off the bike. But yeah, like I was saying, we got it all clean, got it all shiny. Gonna do a bunch of small things like make a fuel line and just generally check for leaks, because if I'm gonna be perfectly honest with you guys, this bike loves to leak. Every single year, I change a bunch of gaskets, change a bunch of seals, and as soon as those leaks are fixed, some more leaks crop up. But that's the life, baby. That's the life. That's what owning your first Harley Davidson is like. Man, it is a balmy 1 degree out here today. So I'm feeling a little frigid right now. I'll give you guys the who, what, where, and why on this thing. I'll try to tell the story as best as I can, because there's no need to overcomplicate this. I had always wanted to build vintage choppers, like in high school. When I was a young buck, I got on the Instagram app trying to talk to girls, you know? And at that point in my life, I was really into cars, like really into old muscle cars, really into like hot rods and old customs, like 1950 style stuff. And, you know, when you're on Instagram, half the time you're looking at ladies, the other half of the time you're looking at things that you're actually into. That sounded bad. I like ladies, okay? Beyond that, I guess what I'm trying to say is I'm looking at these old cars, and through looking at these old cars, I don't know, just looking at choppers, checking them out, sort of, you know, and eventually the algorithm starts to feed you more and more of that shit. Yeah, and like to me, I guess I sort of started gravitating towards it because these cars were like such massive projects. They were expensive. It was a huge undertaking, and as a young guy, I just was, it felt a little out of reach for me, you know? And I knew I wanted one of these vintage shoppers. I knew it had to be a Harley. I couldn't get enough of it. And I knew that it had to at least be a Shovelhead. As soon as I started to learn about these things, I was like, okay, well, Knuckleheads are out of my price range. Panheads are out of my price range. Generator shovels are out of my price range. Maybe I could get into a cone shovel. I thought about an iron head too. And looking back on it, I almost regret not getting an iron head because now my buddy has one and it's the most fun bike in the shop. But yeah, I just wanted a shovel head. A humble cone shovel. Humble beginnings, right? Yeah, that was it. I wasn't gonna settle. I didn't want to go out and buy a Honda. I didn't want to bother with that because like I knew where I was gonna end up. So I'm like, all right, I guess I'll just wait. I guess I'll just wait for a good deal. So I'm waiting around for this deal. End up at the Paris swap meet in Paris, Ontario, not France, okay? And lo and behold, was this thing. Now it looked a lot different. It looked way different. It was yellow. It had 5-gallon split tanks on it, 35 millimeter front end. Had like the coolest like 80s paint job ever. It was like total Miami. It wasn't my style, you know? It was more 80s. But anyways, long story short, the bike ran, but it didn't have brakes. So I was like, okay, you know what? I can probably fix brakes. Never owned one of these things before, had no idea what I was getting into, but I thought in the very least, I could probably fix brakes. So it started up, I'm like, cool, man. That's all I need to see. And the price was $3,500 so that's what I paid for the entire bike. I was stoked, like beyond belief. I would do the classic thing where you just pull up a chair and stare at it. I get the bike home, I fiddle around with the thing. I thought, you know what, it runs like shit right now. I'll change out the carburetor. I knew I wanted it to be kick only, so got rid of the electric start. And as I'm pulling these parts off, I'm selling them, trying to like offset the cost of buying new parts. That's sort of just the game that you play with these things. So yeah, slowly but surely, it really started to change form. I managed to buy this 33.4 millimeter front end, but of course, it had a Sportster stem in it. So lucky me, I used to work at a machine shop at the end of high school, and I reached out to a friend of mine, my old boss, and we actually chucked up the lower tree in a lathe and cut the original stem out of it, machined a 1-inch stem and welded it in. So that was kind of like the first truly custom thing that I did with this bike, and I am forever grateful for his help because I didn't have a welder, I didn't have a lathe, I didn't have any of that stuff at home. So yeah, he really helped me out. He helped me get this front end on my bike, and as soon as the front end went on the bike, I'm like, damn, this thing's already so cool. It blew my mind just seeing a different front end on it. Getting rid of that old 35 with the 19 on it, I was just, you know, as funky as that thing was, this was what I wanted. So then I got a peanut tank. Just started like, yeah, sort of paint matching things with spray bombs. Kind of having a good time just building this thing into my first and humble version of a chopper. And I started riding it around on the road, and I just couldn't believe it, man. Like, number one, I couldn't believe I was out on the road on a motorcycle. Like, it just seemed like such a pipe dream for so long, let alone out on the road on like a Shovelhead with a really cool front end on it and a peanut tank. I'm like, I'm doing the chopper thing. I was so fired up. And then I got hit by a truck. So yeah, getting hit by a truck was, I don't know, I didn't like it. Bruh. It really messed me up. My leg was all fucked up, man. I couldn't walk for the longest time, and as a guy who like just loved to build things, always had projects on the go, I was running my own small business at the time that like involved me walking every day. It just shut my entire life down, man. So number one, not my fault. I didn't have a stop sign. I was just putting down the road. I was like 2 blocks from my house at the time. I'm putting down the road, no stop sign for me. perpendicular, the truck pulls up to a stop sign and makes a complete stop. So far, everybody's doing awesome. We're all doing what we're supposed to be doing. And then I guess this gentleman just didn't look. He was on autopilot. He was in his neighborhood. He was just trying to get home from work or whatever. I don't know. But he pulls out, and there is just no time for me to stop. All I could do in my mind was think like, well, I'm going to turn really hard and try to get our momentum heading the same direction so the impact wouldn't be as bad. Came to on the far side of the truck. I wasn't out for too long because I look up and he's still dragging my bike down the road. It's gone under the front of the truck and he's dragging it. And I'm thinking to myself, like, fuck! That's my bike, man! I was so, like, that was it. I was so mad. I was still wrenching on the thing. It was so new to me. And then I look down and my foot's backwards and I'm like, fuck! You know? So, anyways, it wasn't a good day. And then the subsequent healing was also not very nice. But I try to have a positive outlook always, you know? I think that's what helped me heal too. But the big thing for me was like being stuck on that bench, man, being stuck on the couch specifically. I had a lot of time to reflect, and I had a lot of time to think about what I really wanted to do, you know, what I feel like I was meant to do. And it gave me time to think about this bike. And I'll be honest, man, like, those two things were one of the same, you know? I've always wanted to build these bikes, and now that this thing was all fucked up, I guess it gave me an opportunity to see what I could do, you know? And I wasn't ready to do it then because I was bleeding out financially. My leg was busted to hell and I couldn't move, so not a great place to start when you're trying to envision your next chopper build, but it gave me time to kind of think about it and curate it. Yeah, that's the dark chapter. But anyways, I guess we'll get into inspiration. I'm going to try to keep the mic in a decent spot so this audio isn't that terrible, but no guarantees because I'm outside and it's windy. So anyways, dark period in my life, man. That was some really hard days, but when I finally started to feel like I could walk and sort of kind of work again to an extent, because everything was kind of like limited at that point, I just wanted to make change, man. I was really depressed because, you know, again, being an active guy who liked to work, it was the hardest thing for me to go through. So I wanted to make big change in my life, and I wanted to move. I wanted to get out of here. So I ended up in Muskoka, probably one of the most beautiful spots in Ontario. And I'm so thankful for it because I ended up there and it was isolating for sure. But you know what? I think that's what I needed, man. I was on this journey of self-reflection. I happened to land one of the coolest jobs I've ever had too. I can't believe the trajectory of this whole story is crazy, but I ended up working in a vintage wooden speedboat, yacht, pleasure craft, like vintage wood boat shop. And I didn't know a ton about woodworking, but I knew a good bit about motors through doing projects like, you know, motorcycles and trucks and cars and stuff. And my boss at the time saw that and he said, you know what, if you could figure out a motor, you know, you could probably do some woodworking. So I got hired there and just started trying to catch up. The frame went off to get hardtailed. Jason Parker in Toronto hardtailed it. He did an awesome job hardtailing this thing. The top end of the motor got refreshed. He also did the machining on the motor, but high compression pistons, a cam, nice valve train, like all the ingredients started to kind of add up. And then during winter that year, I just decided to go for it. And looking back on it, it was crazy because like there was no place for me to work on this thing. I was living in a cottage, like an old 70s cottage that was handmade. It had like extension cords in the walls for wiring. And there was a tiny little like workroom in the basement, and that's kind of where this entire bike got built. When I was doing the molding and everything, I took it to the boat shop just so I wasn't gonna fill the house with like Bondo dust. But yeah, man, I built this thing in a closet in Muskoka, completely isolated. during the winter time. No friends, like, I didn't even have friends who were into bikes at the time. It was just me. I was kind of like, I'm just looking at Instagram being like, oh, I like that. And I'm like, oh, well, I'll try that. So, yeah, I'm just kind of in this basement alone, like cooking this thing up. And yeah, I guess so that was the winter. But the fall before, I always watch these like just shitty B movies, like horror movies from the 60s and 70s during the fall. I love it. Spooky season, the best. So I get on YouTube and I'm watching all these corny old horror films. And there's a studio in England called Hammer Horror. That was a studio. They specialized in horror movies back in the day. And they actually made the movie Black Sabbath that the band decided to name themselves after. So that's cool. They did this movie, it's called Vampire Lovers, and it stars Ingrid Pitt and a bunch of other like babes from the 60s, and I'd watch it every Halloween, and I just thought it was like the coolest movie. I know it's corny, I know it's goofy, but like, I don't know, man, something about it just really spoke to me, and I thought it was rad. So that movie kind of was like, the feeling that it gave me was really what I wanted to like capture with this bike. Like, so that was sort of the idea. I wanted it to be evil, man. I wanted to have like big knife fins on the front, and I wanted to have this crazy like crackle paint and the fading and like, I don't know, just secret tidbits of like sharp, maniacal, badass, fucking cool shit. So I know this sounds insane. This sounds like the dumbest, the dumbest inspiration ever, but that's what it was, man. I watched this horror movie and I'm like, over the winter, I'm gonna build this bike, and I was just going off that feeling. So I collected the parts. I got the carburetor, man. The carb was so cool. I was like, this is gonna be one of the feature points of the bike. I loved it. And I knew it was gonna be a bitch to tune, but it was such a thing for me. I got the Star Hub rear wheel, the juice drum. The frame was hardtailed, and I still had my 33.4. Granted, it was twisted the fuck up after that accident, so I had to get fresh tubing, and I had to fork tubes, and I had to get fresh triple trees, and essentially do the same thing again, cut the stem out, weld a new one in. Thank you again, Pete, for doing that twice. Yeah, I had the ingredients, so I just went for it, man. And like, I wasn't building it for anybody else. I didn't know anybody in the scene. I didn't know there was a scene in Ontario. I didn't know that there was choppers around. I thought I was like totally on my lonesome, because I guess in a way I was. I was up in Muskoka in a fucking closet building a chopper. So I just went for it, and I'm like, I don't care if people think this thing's goofy. I don't care if they don't understand that it's like a horror movie, late 60s horror movie kind of vibe. I don't care, man. I'm doing this for me. This is gonna be for me. I'm gonna do what I want to do with this bike. And if I don't have the tools, fuck it. I'm gonna push myself and I'm gonna figure it out. It was a learning process. It was a challenge, and I love a challenge. So I went for it, man. And over the course of that winter, I learned that you should absolutely never mold a motorcycle frame. It's the worst, dude. It's the worst thing you can do to yourself. But I'm so thankful I did it. Like, looking at the hours of work I invested into molding this frame, dude, horrific. You can't see a single weld. Like, even in areas that nobody's ever gonna see, I molded, like underneath the engine, that cross member, underneath the transmission, that cross member. I molded fucking every single weld, seam, joint connection, everything on this frame. I was thinking of fork stops, because the 33.4 didn't have fork stops. So I molded in a little tab and reshaped underneath the neck for this tab so I could hook some chains up to it to be fork stops. I molded everything. Because you know what? When you're isolated in Muskoka in the middle of winter, you have time. It's not fun to mold things, but you have the time to do it. So I fucking did it. And then I had a Canadian Tire welder. I had a little flux core Canadian Tire welder. I still have it. I'll show you guys. That's what I built this bike with, man, because choppers are choppers, baby. You're chopping shit and you're welding shit. So this entire bike was built with a Canadian Tire flux core welder and hand tools. And whenever I ran into a challenge, I just told myself, I'm like, this is how they did it back in the day. You know, I was in a basement. I was down there in the closet. That's how they built them in the 60s. You're in the basement. You're using hand tools. You know, they didn't have a Canadian Tire flux core welder, but they had a crazy uncle with a torch and a coat hanger. Some shit like that. That's how these bikes were built. So I thought, you know what, if those guys can do it, I can do it, and I'm gonna do it. And yeah, it really started to come together. The craziest stage of it all was paint. Paint was the craziest thing, man. And to this day, like, I know it's not perfect. I know I could do a way better job now, but I'll tell you guys, I fucking pulled it off. Like, I'm not one to toot my own horn, but I fucking pulled it off. This entire bike was painted with fucking spray cans from Home Hardware in downtown Port Carling. And what do they call those things? Like the Spray Max 2K clear in a can. And it was painted in that basement, in a closet, with spray bombs, cans of spray paint. That's what you're looking at here. So yeah, once it was painted, I clear coated it. Well, I guess I'll tell you a little bit more about the paint. So yeah, I guess I started out, you know, like hours of body work, but once that hell is over, you can kind of start to get creative. And like the paint side of these motorcycles is one of my favorite things to do, man. I would love to do more of it. So if you guys have projects that you want to bring me, let me know. I'd be stoked. And I probably wouldn't use a spray bomb on your shit. I'd probably use a nicer paint if that's what you want. But yeah, I painted the whole thing like a goddamn rocket pop. It's blue in the middle, then it goes to purple, then it goes to red on the outside of the bike. Just like the friggin' color wheel. You go from blue to purple to red. And it looked like a rocket pop. It was ridiculous looking. From there, I got this Montana Cans crackle paint. I'd seen some guys like painting guitars with it, and I'm like, that looks sinister, that looks evil, that would suit the horror movie vibe. So I sprayed the whole thing with that. That was stressful as hell because that stuff you really only get one shot at. The heavier you lay it on, the thicker the crackles become, like the larger. But you can't get a run in it because if you get a run in it, you're fucked. So yeah, you really only have one shot. You try to do one heavy coat without getting a run. And I think I probably could have gone a little more aggressive with it to get some larger crackles, but I'm not upset. I think it came out pretty damn cool. From there, I took my airbrush that I had, just a cheap, shitty airbrush, and I added shadows. So on the bottom side of all the tubing, in the deeper portions of all the castings, on the tips of the fins, I put in black and faded it in and shadowed it in. And it's subtle, you don't really notice it when you're outside in the sun because everything just lights up, but I don't know, it's one of those little things that I like that I notice. And again, I was building this thing for me, so whatever. Water slide image transfer of the ladies, Ingrid Pitt herself, the babe from the horror movie, and all of her evil vampire bitches around her. Yeah, it's so ridiculous. But I don't know, I love it. I love it. That movie is cool as hell. Go watch it. Yeah, so I water slide transfer that shit on there, and then I do some more airbrushing around it to sort of fade it in. And then layers and layers and layers of clear coat. Just using that Spray Max 2K clear. And it's held up beautifully, man. Like, there are some spots where I would like to, you know, like I could see it sort of sinking a little bit now, and I'm thinking, man, I should probably scuff this at some point and then reshoot it with clear, but I don't know. I also just like choppers that are aging in naturally, you know? I know like everybody's favorite thing these days is like old looks bikes. Everybody wants like a patina old looks bike. I get that. Super cool. I like them too. But, you know, I just know that's, yeah, at the end of the day, it's kind of fake, right? Like, I don't know, it drives me, I have mixed opinions. I haven't even figured it out yet. But my own personal philosophy is, and probably always will be, build it as nice as you can, and then just let it age naturally on its own. It's gonna get old, it's gonna get cracks, chips, it's gonna have flaws in it. Like, there's flaws all over this bike now because it's been together for a few years and I've ridden the shit out of it. But I was so proud of the way that paint came out, man. And layers of clear, sanding it all smooth, and then one final nice coat of clear. It just worked out really well. Got the fender mounted properly. I made the sissy bar, made the pipes, welded the fins on, tank mounts, did the triple trees, kind of just, you know, all the things that I'd curated, and I finally got to put it together. And I'll tell you, dude, like, when it finally came together, I could not fucking stop staring at it. My poor wife, girlfriend at the time, she thought I was nuts, man. Like, I'd get home from work and just go down to that basement and be building this thing. And yeah, I was like obsessed. I couldn't think of anything else. I couldn't eat, I couldn't sleep, I couldn't focus on anything. Like, this was all I could think about. I was so excited. And when it came together, man, like, I just couldn't believe it. I was just stare at it and think like, man, I can't believe my hands did this. Again, I'm not trying to brag or anything. I'm just like, it humbled me, man. It taught me so much, not only about bikes, but it taught me so much about like what I could do. It taught me a shitload about myself. And I'm just so fucking grateful that I had the opportunity to actually go buck wild and build this bike the way I wanted to build it. Since then, I've just been riding it, man. I rode it up in Muskoka. It was my only form of transportation for a little bit because my truck needed an injection pump. So this was my daily. This was my way to work. It was incredible. But it was one of those things where it's like when the journeys kind of come to an end, you sort of look around and like wonder like, fuck. It was like when you're a kid and you build your Lego and you play with it for 5 minutes and then you're just like, well, fuck. I'm kind of bored now. So my wife and I, we got our real estate licenses, still have those too. So if you guys need some housing, contact moi. But anyways, we moved back to our kind of area because Muskoka was never home. It was just a beautiful vacation. It was a beautiful place where I could recover and start to work again and just reconnect with me. So anyways, we move home and I go to a couple of car shows. I'm hanging out with some friends, and then I started to meet people with this thing, man. This bike started to, I couldn't believe it. Like, people would see it and they would be like, oh man, that's so cool. Like, you did that? Like, what's up with that? What's going on over here? And I'm like, I was always blown away. I'm like, you fucking like this thing? Like, this is cool to you? Because like, I thought this was just cool to me. Like, I thought, you know, after building it in complete isolation, I'm like, this is a me thing. I didn't think anybody else was actually gonna like it. So when people started digging it, I was blown away. And then I started to meet people through it, man. Like, I started to go to shows and I started to take it to shows, and I started to just meet people riding around because there's just more people in this area, I guess, right? So I started to meet people through it, and this bike, honest to God, changed my life, man. It reassured me that, like, yes, I can do this. I pushed myself, and I think I exceeded my expectations at the time with how it turned out. So it taught me a lot about myself, and then it started to make me some friends, and it started to kind of get me out there in the circles and, you know, going to shows and meeting people. And since then, it's just like the journey's continued, man. Now I'm like building other bikes. I'm building bikes for other people now. Again, like, you need parts, you need paint, you need whatever, let me know. But yeah, dude, it's crazy. Southern Ontario is not a big place for motorcycles, but there is one hell of a community out here. And I have to say, I'm like so flattered all the time when I meet people through this bike and people shoot me a little compliment here and there, and like, it's just the nicest folks, man. It's so cliche to say, but like, you meet the best people on a goddamn motorcycle, and especially a fun, cool, hand-built motorcycle like this, because there's a lot of people out there doing the same thing. They're doing it their way, and I fucking love it. This is my expression, that's their expression. We're all a little bit different, but these bikes are all so goddamn unique, and that's what really makes them cool. So anyways, that's the story of this bike. There's lots of details that I could point out. I'll probably do that just for the sake of. Yeah. I hope the next time you guys see this thing, it has a seat. No pressure on my buddy who's building the seat. I don't want him to be freaked out. I am freezing my ass off. God damn it, my hands. I can't feel my hands. But anyways, everybody's back lined up here in the lineup of bikes and stuff. I hope you guys like that. I've never done a feature bike video before, so let me know if you guys dug it. I might be able to do more of that, more with other people's bikes even, we'll see. But yeah, I had a great time going down memory lane, talking about that bike, talking about its history, its story, my story with it. I thought it was fun to do. So hope you guys enjoyed. Like, subscribe, fucking sponsor me, please. Whatever you guys are into. I love you. I'll catch you next time.